Hey there. Welcome to the Gyro Step, a Milwaukee Bucks podcast, proudly a part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network and GSPN. I am Ty Windisch, one of your hosts, joined as always by the on Dame time Rohan Katti. That was clunky, whatever. You do like watches, so it kind of works.
I do. I'm not wearing one right now, but I'll tap my wrist.
Well, yeah, the new one is coming in. I don't know if that's true. Rohan, how's it going?
Good. Unfortunately, I do not have a watch on the way. Unless Dame and Breitling and Giannis unless they want to hit me up, man. Like, if come on, just help your guy out, you know?
On interview requests going forward, I'll just include a paragraph at the bottom. Also, if you have a Breitling connection and would like to supply Rohan, let us know.
I think it's a match made in heaven. Giannis is a big Breitling spokesperson. He's now got Dame. Does Dame actually have a watch?
I don't know. You would be the only one out of the two of us who would know that.
We're doing some live Googling here. Watch spokesperson.
I mean, I feel like he's probably at least made like a Dame time line with somebody at some point, but I have no...
Tiso. Hey, if Tiso wants to hit me up too, I'm not going to say no to that.
Is there a Dame time watch, or is Dame just a spokesperson?
I think he's just a spokesperson.
See, that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not a watch guy, but if you said, "Oh, this is the Dame time watch," I'm automatically intrigued.
Yeah, the thing is, like, Tiso's like an actual good watch brand.
Yeah.
Sort of, and I think they're the official watch of the NBA. If I'm
that
not
sounds
mistaken.
right. Yeah.
So, I don't know what a Dame time watch would look like.
Sick. It would look sick.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was about to say it'd be red and black, but no, those aren't his colors anymore.
Not anymore.
But long-winded way of saying, yeah, just hit me up, Breitling, Tiso, whatever.
I thought you were going to get us back on track. You're going back to ask for more watches. Okay, anyway, red and black are not Dame's colors anymore because he is a Milwaukee Buck, and that was made even more official this week on Monday and Tuesday, and I guess Wednesday, all the days. But Bucks Media Day was Monday, and camp started Tuesday, so we've got quite a bit to talk about. A lot of people talked on Media Day, even more than talked the next day, and thankfully the Bucks put those interviews up on YouTube, so we were able to go through, hear from pretty much every core member of the team. Have we not heard from MarJon at length?
I don't believe so.
I feel like I've seen something from him transcribed, but I don't think I've seen a full interview anywhere.
We saw an interview with him on Wednesday after practice.
I think that's like the last guy who I haven't seen a full interview of yet. So I'll have to go check out the MarJon one. We have stuff about MarJon though, so we'll still talk about him. But I think we have a lot to go through. Let's start with the top. Giannis. I want to talk about Dame's comments too. Dame went first on Media Day. I do feel what Giannis said on Media Day is actually being underreported and under-discussed, both outside Bucks world, because of course it was a positive Bucks thing. Of course they don't care, and within the Bucks world as well. So this is a quote from Giannis, and I'm not saying this is bulletproof. We'll get to it. This is what he said. Bart Winkler transcribed and shared the video of this. Shout out to Bart at Wingstings. Quote, "Money is not important. A lot of bleeping money is important. So I'm going to sign it next year. It doesn't make sense to sign right now. I want to be a Milwaukee Buck for the rest of my career as long as we are winning." He said it in somewhat jest. I'll sign it next year. But he still said it. It's still on his mind.
If you want to take him at face value, he said he's signing a contract next summer.
Yeah, because the financial, and we've been over this. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. It's much more advantageous.
He could sign 3 years, I believe 169 or 189 this right now, or he could sign 5 years, $314 million next year.
So it has to do with you can't extend a contract if it's too long. So if he extends now, he couldn't just like extend again and make up for it next summer. It's kind of an all or nothing deal. Extension rules are still weird. So that's in part why that's the case. But like that, I feel like that has gotten almost no play.
Because that doesn't help people's agendas trying to get Giannis out of Milwaukee. It's like, oh, he's eligible for an extension. He's not going to sign it. Yeah, Giannis had to go on Media Day and explain, yeah, it doesn't make financial sense for me to sign this contract because no one else gets it. We get it.
Yeah.
But
our listeners, our tuned in listeners know.
Yes. But it's like general NBA consumers.
No.
Don't.
They don't. Well, because, the people who are. How many more times do we hear? Hey, Mark Lazary knew. Did he still know?
He sold his stake. He saw something coming.
He knew they were going to. Was the storm coming? Damian Lillard?
This exact quote from person we're quoting. He's a very smart guy. He doesn't do these things for a reason. It's like, shut up.
Yeah, Giannis said he's going to sign next year. They got Damian Lillard. Yeah, good thing he got out. What a horrible time to be involved with the Bucks. Jimmy and D has them writing these huge checks. They don't seem to mind. I guess they don't see the same storm coming. Or Wes Edens, who actually also spoke at Media Day. I thought Wes shoots from the hip. Wes had a good. We're not going to talk too much about it, but yeah, he was letting some takes go.
What Wes does. He says some stuff.
As Jordan reminded me, he's the one who said, "We trust the results. We let those guys in Philly trust," and that played out, baby. But yeah, Giannis was very candid. As far as Giannis goes, I think. He also said, well, again, something we've been saying. He said, "Hey guys, I've been saying that stuff about they need to build a winner around me for like 5 years. Like that's
every year.
That's how I feel all the time. Nothing
reiterated
changed
every year. The quote was, I've been saying this every year since I became the leader of this team.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he has. He's been doing the same thing. That's why we didn't overreact at all to that New York Times piece. But again, some people want to say, I don't know, this feels different. I feel like he's soft launching his exit. Just pay attention.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. Pay attention.
And he also said, he verbatim said, like, I'm happy with the commitment the Bucks made,
said
which we would hope,
they showed that they're winning. He literally said they showed they're committed to winning.
Yeah.
He said the thing.
Well, that's the funny thing, too, about all the fear. It's like every time he says the thing about, they need to be winning or I'll leave, right after it, he pretty much always says, but I want to play for the Milwaukee Bucks my whole career. Like it's literally up to them. And it's not just a decision, like it's also performance. It's going to be harder, as Dame and Khris age to continue putting him in these spots. But to this point and in the immediate future, for sure, the Bucks have done that. Giannis is happy. I thought the media day itself, the theme of a lot of the interviews, I thought it was like relieving any small pressure that we had going in between Giannis and this stuff and being, I would say, about as clear as he's ever been besides just signing something. And I want to say too, like, I'm not naive, until pen is to paper, all of the words don't mean that much realistically. They do, but they don't. And again, I'm not saying this means he's for sure signing this year. A lot can change in a year, but right now with what's happened, clearly Giannis is happy with the direction of the Bucks and the roster. That's all that matters. From here, roll out the ball. Like, let's see what goes on. Let's see next summer, yada, yada. That's all fine and well. Clearly, we're in a good spot with Giannis. That's the number one most important thing out of all of this. And we're there. I mean, I thought it was just a huge relief to see the way he was talking about all of this stuff. And thank you, Giannis, for, again, I feel like he's pretty good about this. Like, when it's actually time to play, he usually makes sure that there's not any sort of a distraction that would actually affect the team, the media, whatever. You can't control that. But we heard from Ty, nobody was talking about it, and certainly no one's talking about it now that he said all this.
We had Khris say, like, yeah, this is what he says every year.
Yeah, because again, it is, but that doesn't get as much sexy play on Hoop Collective. So what can you do?
What can you do?
The Knicks, the Knicks have 5 top 14 protected picks, and they're eyeing up Giannis. Can the Bucks say no to that package?
They're monitoring the situation.
They're monitoring. They're staying tuned.
I'm monitoring the situation.
I'm also monitoring the situation. Go ahead and report it.
Yeah. I was gonna throw out some names, but I'm not gonna.
Okay. Your decision. I have one other thing that stuck out to me about what Giannis said overall, but what next? Do you have anything else in specific you want to highlight?
For Giannis still?
Yeah, for Giannis.
I think we've covered it. He basically said what needed to be said. He was very, very pointed in his responses and very clear in what he was trying to articulate. And I think he did a great job of doing that.
I agree. I thought Giannis and literally everyone who spoke over the 2 days, I think said all the right things about Drew. It sucks to lose him. He was a great player, everything else, which I thought was good. I mean, it's pretty much what you think you would have to do. We've seen some organizations in the past, not Milwaukee, really kind of trash a guy on the way out, Philly. So I'm just really glad. I didn't expect that, of course, knowing what the Bucks accomplished with Drew, how much everyone loved him. But I was just really happy to see that and make sure, people kind of went out of their way to say, question about Dame, the first, I think Wes got one of the first questions about the trade in Dame, and he started with saying, it hurts to lose Drew, and pretty much everyone said that. So I thought that was good. I thought this was interesting, and we've heard more about this from both guys since. When Giannis was asked about Dame and the pick and roll combo, Jack Mahoney, I think it was asking everyone about the pick. He must be doing a story if it's not out already. We appreciated him asking because it was, there's so much questions about Giannis's comments and the trade. And it's all right, I would like to hear some hoop at some point.
Let's talk actual basketball.
Yeah, we get Giannis and Dame. We'll enjoy it on the court, but we can talk about it, a little bit. Giannis was I'm digging in the film room. We're both digging in the film room to figure out everything we can about each other to make sure I know exactly. And I'm paraphrasing here, but along the lines, he said, figure out, I know exactly when to roll. He said, I know when to pop. Giannis, never. When to pop is never for you. I'm just saying. When to roll, when to stop, when to catch.
They have some fun actions. At least they have where Giannis pops and immediately goes into a DHO.
Okay, I'll accept that. I don't know if that's what he was talking about, but I'll accept that from you. But basically just saying they need to really learn each other's tendencies. And it's not like you would expect anything less, but I also love that Dame and Giannis are both approaching the Dame-Giannis pairing as it makes a lot of sense. We're excited to play with each. I don't know how people guard it, but also we need to put in a bunch of work to make this thing happen. They're not oh yeah, we're just unstoppable now. Which again, we would never expect Giannis to say that or Dame. Now that we've getting to know him a bit, it'd be
funny if they did say that.
It would be, but I'm glad that they're just no, we have to put in the work and make sure this is perfect. And it's really exciting. Clearly, it's going to be a focus.
You gotta put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours. Shout out Dwayne Johnson.
Nice. I thought that was a Dame Dollar lyric for a second. Certainly could be as well. He could have fooled me. He's different on levels the Lord allows. I just say that to myself. I'm the RDC world. Jermaine.
Yeah.
Cole. That's Dame Dollar. That's me from now on. Number one fan.
Shout out RDC world. Man.
Yeah. Shout out to. They're so funny.
So funny.
Supreme Dreams is also the handle if anyone knows them. Anyway. They met Giannis. Giannis loved them. Did you see that video? Giannis,
yeah, I did.
Giannis quoted the "I'm 38" out of the LeBron thing to them. I thought that was super funny. But yeah, I love the Dame Giannis dynamic already, though. I love the way they talk about each other. I was watching Dame's interview from Wednesday, I think, last night, and I was just I had a tear in my eye. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I believe, yeah.
When he's he's saying things to me that I'm thinking to say to him.
Yeah.
He said something along the lines of when you come in and the guy is telling you just be Dame, that makes you comfortable. And I love the way Dame talks about Giannis so much. It's so respectful for who Dame is and what he's accomplished.
It's Dame on his own is a surefire Hall of Famer. And he's coming in wow, look at Giannis.
The guy. He called him the guy. He's the best player in the league, the guy, all this stuff.
I mean, it's obvious. It's true,
it is.
But it's different to see a guy of Dame's caliber come in here and say that. Imagine LeBron James coming to the Milwaukee
Bucks. I want
Bucks.
to.
Yeah, me too. Draft Bronny next year, Bucks. Yeah. You have a pick. We know you have a pick. Imagine LeBron James coming in and saying man, just look at Giannis. This is Giannis's team. It's difficult because Dame in Portland for over a decade, that was him. He was the guy for that franchise. He might be the greatest Portland Trailblazer ever. And it's to be able to make that transition from, I'm the guy to I clearly recognize that this person is the guy. It's not necessarily one that's always made very well, but it's clearly a transition that's been made here.
Yeah. Real quick, before we get into more Dame stuff, go back to Giannis for a second. He mentioned with the knee surgery, He was in pain pretty much all the time last year. That's why he missed so many games, which he missed kind of a normal amount of games for him, but more than he wanted to, clearly. He said he tried to get through the offseason without the surgery, but he just continued to have the pain when he tried to ramp up. So he had the surgery, and he's felt better since. Let me see if I have an exact quote here. He said, Giannis said, "It never went away. I was just managing it. I missed 19 games. If you start the season with pain, that means you're going to end with pain. I'm happy I did it. I'm healthy," is what Giannis said.
Scary hours.
Yeah, the picture of the dunk where Dame is watching Giannis dunk, the one that was all over, and everyone's like, what is Dame thinking right now? It's got to be good thoughts, man.
Yeah, I mean, just crazy pop. And it's like, yeah, could you tell like maybe Giannis was a little limited last season? Like he's talked at length last season about how he has this knee pain that he needs to manage and constantly manage. And that's something that we as Bucks watchers we've sort of monitored over the years, is like, yeah, this is just going to be a constant injury management thing with Giannis. And it's like, as long as it doesn't hamper him too much, it's just something that has to be dealt with. But if it's been cleaned up, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is. I think it'll be interesting to see how much they play this year. Because, of course, there was the question, like, Adrian Griffin coming from the Raptors, they always play their guys a ton. Are Giannis and Dame going to play 37 minutes? I don't think so. And I think we've got a little bit of evidence here. Giannis and Dame were both held out of day 2 of practice. Sounds like just as rest days for them.
You wouldn't hear that from Adrian Griffin, though. We had to hear that from Dame.
Well, I thought Griffin said they didn't go. I think Dame said it was a rest day for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's Adrian Griffin, not only a Nick Nurse assistant, but a Tom Thibodeau assistant too.
Yeah, so there would be a lot of evidence there for him running the guys a lot. I still think, and we've gotten some quotes too from Griffin and some of the other players involved, like, you know, we have to be cautious, everything else. I don't think we're going to see 36-minute per game Giannis this year. I think we'll see more in the playoffs. And I kind of think, here's a fun thing I noted earlier. I think Dame could have his lowest minutes per game season, but still lead the Bucks in minutes.
Yeah.
The fewest he's played ever is like 35.5, which is quite a lot still.
Crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, from rookie year to being 32 years old, he's never played less than 35.5 minutes per game. So, I think Drew usually did lead the Bucks in minutes as the point guard. I mean, Dame could play like 33 minutes and probably still pace the team in minutes and still get more time off per game than he's ever had before. And also, in his minutes, probably have to work a little less hard, which is something he talked about in his quotes on Media Day, basically saying, like, my whole career, I've had to score by like step backs. I've had to, go hard off screens. Like it's been really hard work, and I'm very excited to play with Giannis. So a quote from Dame: "It's public record that I've always mentioned, if I could team up with one person, it would be Giannis. The kind of attention he's going to get is only going to make the game easier and more simple for me. And because of the way I do impose myself and how I attack games, he's going to have the kind of opportunities I think he hasn't had as well." Giannis mentioned something along these lines too. Is it silly that I'm glad they're talking about playing off each other a ton and pick and rolls and everything after we just never saw pick and rolls really for like 5 years?
No, I think it's fun to focus on. It's really exciting. It makes you think like, wow, this offense is really going to be unstoppable.
Yeah.
I think it's valid to focus on this.
I think we got a little. Did you see the horns clip going around from Dame in his Portland days? Horns, if anyone doesn't know, it's like basically 2 screens get set by teammates kind of around the guard and Dame's defender. And then obviously there's a ton of options from there, which way you go, who pops, whatever. I mean, Rohan, have the Bucks ever run horns?
Yes. Not frequently.
Single digits per season?
I mean, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's like it wasn't a staple of their offense.
That is to say the least. So now Bobby, Giannis, Brook, all his options. And I was thinking too during Brook's availability when he talked about rolling for Dame. Dame Brook pick and rolls are going to be really fun too. Brook is a much better screen setter than Giannis.
Well, yeah.
Brook is going to free up Dame in on different levels the Lord allows.
Brook is one of the best screen setters He is. It helps that he's an absolute monster of a human being.
Huge. They don't make many players that big anymore, except for Boss Man.
They got 2 of them.
Yeah,
they got 2 of them.
Yeah,
except for Boss Man. Boss Man at 250 or whatever.
He said he cut weight, so I don't know if
that's
just like
not
the old
true
numbers
at all.
from last year. I believe it. I think he looks slimmer than he did last season.
Sure,
I do. That's what he said.
He might. I mean, again, these weights are taken at the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
and that might have changed.
Was he even there? They probably just used last year's again.
Yeah, that's fair. He wasn't there.
So, Boss Man says the number is a lie. He had a fun interview as well. Let's go back to what Dame said. I think, again, I'm going to ask you again, is this silly? I didn't obviously buy into like, oh, he's not happy to be in Milwaukee with his matching green outfits with his kids and everything. But just because we knew it wasn't on his list initially for a while, and the rally was really short and everything, was it a relief to you that during for Dame, and I think what we're realizing is Dame is just not a guy who's like overtly bubbly and like smiling a bunch, but everything he said and the way he would repeat "I'm excited" so many times, like in every answer, was it a relief to see Dame is like totally locked in and cannot wait for the season?
Yeah, I mean, we know we've gotten a chance to know Dame as a person in this league for 12 years. Also, this cup is incredible. The mug is incredible.
Yeah, we're getting close to Christmas season again.
Yeah.
It's aging back in.
I love it.
Yeah, it's my fashion. That's how it works. Everything. I'm not ahead of trends, but they age back in.
Check out the YouTube if you're listening on your podcast platform.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Over the past 12 years, we've gotten to know Damian Lillard as a person. And I was never really worried that he was going to be like upset about being in Milwaukee because it's the perfect basketball situation for him. And if we've heard anything from Dame over this last decade plus, it's like, yeah, he wants to win. If he wants to win, this is the best situation for him. So I was never really worried about him being upset about being here. If he was truly genuine wanting to win, this is the opportunity to do so. This is the best opportunity to do so. So yeah, it's like I was never really worried about it, but it is nice to see like Dame sort of like be nice and embracing, locked in, and just like the like being in awe of being in the situation that he's in has just been really cool. I think the clip of him, Giannis, Khris, and Brook taking a photo together. He's like, I never been in a photo like this before.
I know the memes of like holding like a picture frame close to your heart. That's me with all these Dame moments. I'm just like, oh, Dame, you deserve the best. He's so good. He's
so cute. It's like I've never been in a photo like this before. It's like, yeah, you don't have 3 other solid teammates.
Yeah, it's kind of like, Jesus Christ, Portland. Is this really true? I think it is. Oh my God.
It is true. Like, what's the best big 4 that there's been?
It has to be
Portland?
Like his rookie year.
Yeah, it's got to be
LaMarcus, Batum, and Wes.
Yeah, that's it. And it's like, respect to those guys. Not even close.
Giannis said if he's one of those guys, he's going to go back to Greece. I think that tells you all you need to know. Still so funny.
Thankfully, Batum was not the second best player on that team. But
have you heard the rap song that mentions Nick Batum?
Oh my God, what is it?
It's so funny. It's something about being at a Clippers game, and it's in my head because it's a sound on TikTok, and they'll put it over Nick Batum lowlights, and it's really funny every time. It's I don't even know who the song is by. It's not by Dame, the only rapper who really matters, but. It's like fourth quarter yelling, "Why the bleep Batum in?"
Yes.
It's like, why would you do that to him? And he's barely been in.
It's like that video of 50 Cent. It's like, why you say F me for?
Yeah, Nick. But that has to be between the Giannis thing and that song. Nick Batum's got to be like, "What? I'm a good player."
Like Nick Batum's had a very good career.
I'm playing way longer at a higher level than people expected. I don't need this.
When I was in Charlotte, everyone thought I was done, and now I'm in the Clippers having a little bit of a renaissance of my career. It's like, now I'm just getting shots.
Charlotte had a lot of guys who, like the Willy Wonka, the guy looks broken and then does a cartwheel moment. That was a lot of vets leaving Charlotte. Gordon Hayward's going to have like a 50-point per game season when he gets out of there.
Yeah, early January for sure.
Early January is when, that'll be the high point of that. He'll go after Wilt. Anything else about Dame that stood out to you? Again, I'm with
the Bucks embracing freak time.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yep.
That was cool. That'll sell a lot of merch.
Yeah,
if you actually embrace that Bucks, that'll sell a lot of merch. It might get me to buy it.
I was gonna say, is the Dame movement moving you to buy a Bucks gear?
It might be. It might be. If they sell like a Freak Time cardigan, I'll be. Oh. That's me.
What about like a starter jacket kind of deal?
I don't think I can pull it off.
No, I think you can pull anything off, but I'll respect your decision there.
Well, thank you.
I'm excited to see what kind of real quick discussion the people are talking about. The ears are to the ground on this. We don't have any info. What kind of alt jerseys do you think would be best for the first year of Dame?
Ooh, just you can't do worse than Miami's.
No kidding.
Anyone who's unclear of what I'm talking about, it literally just says Heat culture.
Yeah. The ransom note jerseys were way better, and we hated those.
The Bulls are bad. The Bulls won. The Bulls are bad, and their jerseys are bad.
It's like there's way too much white space. Or I think black space.
The Pistons are basically releasing a Bulls jersey.
It's never good to do.
I don't know. I think all of them are bad this year, from what we've seen.
No, but I'm saying
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of based on what the other jerseys.
Oh no, don't think about those losers. We don't care about those teams. Like from the ideas that the Bucks have leaned into before, like they've done the Mecca.
I think they should go full blue.
Oh really?
They should.
Do you think purple's coming back again?
No.
You think they're going to take a year off?
Yeah, probably.
I wish they could clear Cream City again. That would be my number one.
Oh my God, a Freak Time Cream City jersey. I'd buy that in an instant.
I wonder, you couldn't do this with like the Fanatic store, but imagine like Giannis's number on the back, Dame's number on the front, Freak Time Cream City. That's the cleanest jersey imaginable.
I'm buying that and I'm framing it. I'm buying two jerseys so I can do front and back.
Or cut it in half.
Could do that too.
You could do that and save quite a bit of money, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
But you'd have to buy two jerseys to actually do it. And you can't even buy those jerseys anymore.
So that's why the Bucks need to release it.
Yeah.
Just change the color ever so slightly so it doesn't interfere with the hardwood. Because if anyone's unfamiliar, the reason they stopped the Cream City jerseys is because the cream on the jerseys interfered too much with the hardwood on the NBA court. So they couldn't. It messed up with the digital ad placement.
Which also just like... Just make a sticker.
Yeah.
Really? The Bucks can't use a clean jersey? You couldn't just make a sticker?
To put on the court?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's okay, NBA. Poverty League.
Honestly.
More like Adam Bronze.
Oof.
Got him. Got him.
It took me a second. I was like, wait, who's Adam Gold?
Not even. He's demoted. He's never been Adam Gold. Maybe for 5 seconds after he banned Sterling. But since then, no.
But I think blue would be fun just to make Adam upset.
Yeah, that it will do. You shouldn't do this post Brewers.
Oh, this is true. RIP to the Brewers.
Yeah. Check out Cruising for a Bruising for catharsis.
Them in the playoffs was that Simpsons meme where the guy just walks in, does a little spin.
That's the grandpa. Come on.
I don't know.
Put some respect on Grandpa Simpson.
I never watched The Simpsons.
Oh.
Did you think I did?
Yeah, you just let a lot of people down.
Okay, that's okay.
That is okay. You'll pick them back up. No one can quit Rohan.
But yeah, if you want to go full purple, I'd be okay with that. Just don't do any weird lettering or anything. Whatever, or some curved things like the Warriors are doing. Just putting culture on the jerseys like the Heat are doing. It's not even the same font as Heat.
I know. It does not look good.
It's gross.
It does not. If you haven't seen these folks, look them up. They look bad.
Well, it's like the normal Heat jersey, but black. The font is red. They shrink that down and then just add culture underneath in a different font.
We've said this before. I mean, it's the Heat's fault because they've done really bad the last couple of years, but it's also like Nike's fault for trying to get everyone to make 2 new jerseys every year. There's only so many good jersey ideas.
Yeah, you run out eventually, and clearly they had.
Yeah, and they nailed it too. And now can they not use Miami Vice anymore? Right? Because they're.
I don't think so.
Which is like really stupid.
Yeah, they should just make them their normal uniforms. Those are beautiful.
They should.
Beautiful jerseys.
Yeah.
You won't hear me praising the Heat that much, but those are
Well, I honestly,
those are 10 out of 10 jerseys.
Like they could have retired like the White Hots or something and make them like the LeBron and Wade era jerseys, and then have this new era with Miami Vice a couple of years ago, but they didn't.
Yeah, the White Hot jerseys were clean.
Yeah, really, really nice. Anyway, enough of the Heat.
Retire, or they should retire like Giannis's number or something, because they retired Jordan's. Still one of the
probably retire Steph's or some random. Who knows? They won't retire Joe Cronin's.
Not at all. I heard Joe Cronin was very, very, very nice at accommodating destinations.
Drew Holiday said that. Did you see what I replied to that with?
No, I didn't.
Unfortunately, the best shot he's taken at Miami in years. Love you, Drew. But also, yes. Anyway, I don't know. Everyone's excited to see what kind of everyone wants a Dame jersey, which I understand. I also
they sold out immediately.
Yeah, of course. Good. I'm glad they did. I can't wait to see what the alts are going to be, though, because I think an alternate, if it's the right one, would be a move. But you can't go wrong with any of the. I mean, the Bucks have we're lucky. They have a really strong home and away or icon and association, whatever the hell they call it now. And so you can't go wrong with one of those either. But the alternate jersey, Lillard on the back, would be very clean. But maybe maybe just merch is the way to go. Like Freak Time apparel has huge potential.
NBA Jam.
Yeah, I need to shout out to Cole, who he saw me, my listener and my buddy Cole, who's been mentioned on the pod before, saw me wearing my Giannis Khris Championship NBA Jam shirt and said, oh, they need to make that for Giannis and Dame ASAP. And I was like, homage, yes, you do. But can we fix some of the sliders? I don't have it on now, but Giannis's sliders are not right on there. So let's make sure we get the good sliders.
Yeah, do it right.
The threes are too high. I hate to say it. The dunk and defense were way too low. And Dame's threes should be like through the bar.
Yeah, just like 110 or something. Right?
Yeah.
That'd be fun. But I think merch is the way to go because everyone wants the fun novelty stuff.
And it can be hard to wear a Bucks jersey as an adult.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my cheat code, jersey over hoodie. When it's cold out. Because I feel like the jersey looks good in that, better than it does on an undershirt. No disrespect to jersey undershirt people. But it's also like I'm not just going to rock a jersey on bearskin, man. I'm 28. Yeah, I don't play in the league. No one thinks I play in the league. I'm not doing that.
You're not going to the herd tryouts?
I'm not going to the. I guess in that context, that's the only time it makes sense. In no other context does it make sense to. Like, you can't even wear a jersey to go play pickup. It's still weird.
It is weird. Might as well become one of those people who does like the full getup.
Yeah, with like the matching armband, the shorts, the socks, all that stuff.
Oh man, those people kill me.
I want to do that, but with like JOB.
Shout out JOB, man.
And play the exact same as it, just like taking 11-foot jumpers only. Good defense. One of the top 5 best LSU big men of all time.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Back to media day.
Yeah. Where do you want to go next?
I guess we can... I don't even know where we were.
We were relatively Dame-ish.
Yeah, we can talk. We'll still talk some Dame. Dame said some good things to say about our guy, MarJon. He had a glowing review of him after practice on Wednesday. And he was like, it was fun to see like him put his old man hat on, and he was like, "Yeah, if I was scouting these players, he's a guy I would draft." And it's like, I 100% agree, Dame. Like, I wanted to draft MarJon. I wanted to draft MarJon before the draft, and now here we are. Damian Lillard agrees. We had the same mind. Basically, me and Dame are the same person.
Somehow, you're actually underselling how glowingly Dame spoke about MarJon. The question was, I think this was from Lori Nickel. Very good question. Besides Giannis, who has stood out to you? It was that open-ended. Could have been Khris. I mean, Khris hasn't been fully. We'll get to Khris. Could have been Brook. Whoever. He immediately is like MarJon. He says it MarJon, which I think is fire. And he just says like his athleticism. He called him a big guard. He moves well. He shoots well. And I don't know if you've been keeping up with the latest on IG stories and posts, but G League TV made a post that said MarJon could be the 5th starter and shared his stats when he started for the Bucks last season. MarJon put it on his story. Dame liked it. it was like highlights and stuff. I don't think that's an implicit, request. Who should the fifth starter be? But I do think MarJon gained ground just on the way people talked about him, mostly Dame, this week. It did stand out. I did not expect the MarJon shout out, but it's very exciting. Apparently, he looks great. That's good news.
If MarJon hits like this year and can be like a solid contributor this year, the ceiling of this team is just that much higher. It's that much higher because you have a guy. If MarJon becomes like a and I don't expect him to be a fully realized version of himself. Like, come on, it's year 2. That's too high of expectations. But if he starts to realize some of his potential, that's the perfect fifth starter because you have now a guy who can be a defensive menace, who can go and switch everything, and who is a guy who has that athletic burst that we've been wanting on this team, and can be like a corner 3-point shooter, can be a slasher, and like I said, good defense. What else could you want from your fifth starter? Especially now that your point guard is Damian Lillard and not Jrue Holiday.
Yeah, we talked about for Andre Jackson Jr., certainly for MarJon as well, the new spacing on offense will make their lives a lot easier. I mean, just where the levels of screens will be in like Giannis or even Dame Giannis or Dame Brook pick and roll. Like, think of how much space will be behind that for backdoor cutting from a guy like MarJon. He's athletic.
Yeah, just take advantage of it. And he was one of the guys that would do that.
Yeah.
Him, Pat, I would say were the two guys that took advantage of that the most.
Imagine transition
Bobby
looks.
Did sometimes. It was just a little slow.
Yeah. Imagine transition looks, but instead of Javon pulling up in transition, it's Damian Lillard. I just realized that live on pod. I love Javon too. Hey, great guy. Not Dame.
Not Dame. I don't think he would take offense to that. He might, but
I just don't think he would say anything.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's his way.
Good luck with the Bulls, Javon. Honestly, very, very happy you got that contract.
Did you see what Vooch said?
When I saw him at dinner the other day?
No. Oh my God. Let me see if I can pull this up fast enough, dude. Vooch is hilarious. He said something about how he said to sacrifice more than anyone on the team. And like he's one of the best players on the team or something.
No,
I gotta find it.
That's not wrong.
Yes, it is. Oh wait, he's one of the best 3 or 4 players on the team. Congrats.
He's the third best player on that team.
Wow, third best player on a team that didn't make it through the play-in. Own them, Vooch. Hold on, I know I'm finding it. I need to find it.
Yeah, I'd say he's the third best player. I'd say it's DeMar, Levine, DeMar, whatever you want to say.
DeMar Levine for me.
Yeah. I almost forgot that DeMar DeRozan is still on the Bulls. Like, that dude was a machine last year, and he's probably still going to be a machine this year. And it's like, that team's going nowhere. If you buy out DeMar, Chicago, like, please.
Listeners know, dedicated listeners know, I've long since been on the train of DeMar would have been a pretty good emergency option to get instead of, like, a guy like Dame. Not for Jrue.
Jrue, that's when you first brought it up.
Yeah.
I believe.
It was. Because the spacing isn't ideal, but man, he is a great offensive player. Now I can't find this.
It's okay.
I'm going to find it. Yeah, we can talk about something else, but I need to find this now. Because it's very funny.
Yeah, but getting back to MarJon, just incredible development that Dame. First of all, Dame really likes him. That's good. We know that MarJon is actually from like the Pacific Northwest area, so maybe there's some connection there.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Maybe I also could be nothing. I'm just pointing out something that may or may not exist. But yeah, if he can elevate himself to be the fifth starter, which we both going in assume is Pat. I think I've had a little bit of a thought. Maybe it should be Boss Man. We'll talk about Boss Man, but if it's like MarJon, idealized MarJon is the ideal fifth starter, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think you can even debate that just because of the defensive upside and the athleticism that really in that spot between Dame and Khris is ideal. Where the debate comes in is how idealized he is.
That's yet to be seen. But based on camp, it looks like he's starting to fill that role already.
It does. Yeah. It's exciting. I do think the MarJon hype is in a pretty good place now. Would you say?
Yeah,
I don't think it's out of control.
I think it's okay. People have tempered expectations.
Yeah. Maybe. But getting back to another thing about Dame, besides just his MarJon comments, I could talk about Dame all day.
Yeah, one thing that also stood out to me was him also recognizing, like he gets the inverted pick and roll stuff already. Like he
that stood out to me as well. That he was basically
being able to like recognize that, if I go and set screens for Giannis, like we've known for years now that if it's an inverted pick and roll, you flip the screen and Giannis is going left, there's going to be a post or dunk. Like we've seen that time and time again. Like that's just such a bread and butter play with Giannis and this Bucks team. So it's good to see those sort of ideals transferring over through this new coaching staff. I shouldn't say like there are some holdovers from the coaching staff, so it's not too surprising. But
Sidney Dobner regime,
yeah, good old Oppenheimer, Vin Baker.
I don't know why Oppenheimer just made me laugh.
Good old Oppie.
Oppie. We're not going to call him that.
Some people will, but it's good to see. Yeah, it's good to see that Dame recognizes, like I'll be setting some screens sometime, because that's never been something he's been asked to do, really.
Yeah,
in his decade plus.
Did you?
Long
I was
career.
still looking for the Vooch thing. I didn't. He did say he sacrificed the most. I couldn't find the rest of it. That was funny. I gave up. Did you mention who he specifically said he watched in those actions and film?
No, I didn't mention.
Did you hear this?
I think so.
He said, he's like, I watched the guys like Grayson and Khris, and I watched all the way back to Malcolm Brogdon setting screens for Giannis and popping. And it's just like, Dame is out here grinding 16, 17 Bucks tape, figuring out the best ways to play with. Like, they're so dead. They love each other.
He's been a Buck for a week.
Like, literally a week today?
Yes, Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it's Thursday. Yeah.
No, we're recording this on Thursday.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys are listening to this.
He's just like, grinded Malcolm Brogdon tape. I was like, didn't play that much today. I mean, you're really deep in the barrel here.
Maybe he knows something's coming.
I'm just waiting. Whoa, okay. I'm just waiting for I saw Jorge Gutierrez set a really awesome pin down for Giannis once in 2015. And ever since, I've been striving to hit that.
Oh my God, Jorge Gutierrez. I've been grinding that Grievous Vasquez thing.
Yeah.
Here's some other obscure Bucks point guards over the years. This isn't as old, but that Luca Vildoza thing.
Yeah. I saw Luca Vildoza hit a really interesting skip pass in preseason. And then Giannis is just like, I saw the way Caleb Swanigan rescreened for Dame, and I was like, I need to incorporate this into my game. Al Farouk Aminu had a really good way of operating off of him. Yeah. Oh my God, I love that.
I forgot about Al Farouk Aminu.
Never forget Al Farouk.
I always had a soft spot for Al Farouk Aminu.
All NBA nerds love the same 10 role players.
Yeah.
Al Farouk Aminu was a helpful player too.
He was such a helpful player.
He was fully realized Luke Bahamute.
Oh wow, he was.
Which is not that full, but still.
You're right though. He's like, I think Jeremy Grant is a fully realized Al Farouk Aminu.
Ooh, it's like Digimon.
Sure.
Yeah, it is, because it's it's an evolution.
Couldn't that be Pokemon too?
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Why'd you go Digimon?
I don't know. It just felt Digimon to me.
Okay. I'm less familiar with Digimon.
It's relatively. I think Digimon, they can go back down. So actually, Pokemon probably does make more sense. Regardless.
You can de-evolve in Digimon? That seems weird.
Yeah, I think their base. I think it's kind of like Dragon Ball Z, where it's like, you can ramp up, but it's like it's taxing you. I don't know.
I'm the wrong person to ask about.
Yeah, I'm learning that. I don't know that much either. Another thing Dame said I thought was kind of cool, besides naming Malcolm Brogdon as someone he watched in Bucks tape. When it came to defense, a lot of guys got this question about defense, and Bossman had a good answer we'll talk about. But Dame was basically like, with how much offensive talent we have, I'll be able to focus more energy there. And he said, like, I'm not Drew Holiday, who I think is the best perimeter defender in the league, but like I'm not a slouch, more or less. Like I'm going to be better defensively. That's something where like you could have hoped that maybe that could happen, and we still have to hope. We haven't seen it. I did think it was kind of interesting. He straight up said that, like, I'll be able to be better defensively because I'm not doing as much. Like I didn't expect Dame to think along those lines, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's fair. It was wild for him to actually come out and say it. I mean, we talked about maybe that's a possibility of it being the case that he's going to do that. But just him saying it was interesting to hear. I think that's I think he's more trying to say how much of a taxing role he had in Portland, which leads to this sort of, I'll have less things to do on the offensive end, which means, I can put more energy towards defense. And it makes sense. It goes back, like, Bucks fans know about this. Like, PJ Tucker was, during the championship run,
the other way,
was like, what do you expect me to do on offense? I'm out here defending all of them. Don't expect anything on offense.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's if a player of Dame's caliber on offense, you shouldn't have expected a whole lot on defense. Like, that's just hard to ask for. It's like, that's why there's only like 3 guys in the league who are just like A pluses, offensive and defensive end. Like, Giannis.
I was going to say, the exciting thing is that, it's great Dame can be a little better defensively. Imagine if the same is true for Giannis. Like, right. I think that this is it's much easier to picture him guarding more wings and being more involved. Now that offensively, again, like Dame, he's not gonna have to work as hard, man. Especially like in the regular season when defenses aren't entirely locked in. I mean, Giannis is going to have the best looks he's ever had, and it's not going to be close.
Yeah, it'll be good for sure. Maybe he's the defensive stopper that we've been wanting in the starting lineup. And again,
I mean, probably. I think that's a fair thing to say.
Yeah, and we know he's capable of it. He's one of the only guys in the league who can really guard 1 through 5.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for this season.
I know. Whenever I think of Giannis guarding guards, I always think of this one play. This is a random cut. It's when Iman Shumpert was on the Kings.
Oh my God. That is a random play.
And Iman Shumpert is on the perimeter. He's switched up against Giannis. He's like, oh, I can beat him going to the rim. He like sort of does like a stutter step dribble and drives to the rim. Giannis just swats that shot away. Yeah. Like, it's like he didn't even try. And then like Iman Shumpert's just looking back like, wait, what happened? Some people will know what I'm talking about.
Do you think did Domantas Sabonis tell De'Aaron Fox about watching that clip? I watched some Shump tape to get ready for you. My new favorite genre of post. Anything else about Dame time on media day that stood? I love Dame so much already.
Again,
he's the
Breitling,
greatest.
Tiso. You guys want to hit me up?
All right,
I'll be a shill. It's fine.
I know. Rohan plug time. No Bucks merch. The only Bucks merch you'll have is like a Tiso with a little Bucks logo in it.
They have those. They do. And I wear Tiso. Come on,
Tiso. Let's do it. If you can get Giannis to wear, I confused you with Giannis. That's a compliment. If you can get Rohan to wear Bucks gear, that's marketing right there.
They have a strap that's Bucks branded.
There you go. Get the strap.
They have green. They do have green dials for their watches. Okay, I need to stop.
Other media day stuff. Brook Lopez said he was happy to be back. Roasted Robin Lopez, as would expect, which is very, very funny.
And it's so nice to have Robin back.
Yeah, Robin was reading a book about, I think, Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, and he said he's got to figure out who on the Bucks is who in that. Like, he was reading the book at media day. He was like seated in a chair just reading this book. Brooke said Robin was pretty much begging him for a job, and his mom said he should help him out, so that's why he got him the Bucks contract. Somebody asked Brooke if he was going to get commission. He said, yeah, I need 20%, which it's like, Brooke, you just signed for like 40 times the amount. Maybe chill. Maybe let that man eat.
It's so fun. It's so fun. Like, I miss the dynamic of having both of those guys on the team.
And another Dame teammate.
Yeah.
Oh, one more Dame thing. He kind of joked. He was like chuckle when he said it, but I think it is real that he's already talking to Terry Stotts about like 9 plays they're going to incorporate that he's familiar with into the offense. It's like, that's cool. hitting the ground running, so to speak.
Yeah, very, very, very cool. Very cool to see that.
The Bucks offense this year is just going to be a journey. Think of the stats we're going to see.
The offense is going to be so good.
Like, it's not just going to be Dame Giannis pick and roll forever. Like, there's going to be some fun stuff, I think.
It's a lot of it's going to be like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it sort of thing.
Yeah. We got Prunty. He's going to dial up an alley-oop to Adrian Griffin.
I forgot Joe Prunty's back.
Yeah, the Prunt man.
Oh, man. This season is pure vibes.
Yeah. I'm very happy with how this is shaking out.
It's going to be so good. The Bucks needed a vibe shift,
yeah.
I think.
They got music at practice now. Bobby talked about what's different with Adrian Griffin's coaching. More physical. A lot of people said it's going to be physical. They had a one-on-one tournament, which Bobby estimated maybe once over like the whole Bud tenure. They did something like that. Giannis won the one-on-one tournament.
Yeah, Giannis won.
Which is fire.
It's really interesting that happened, because there was this video of Steve Clifford talking during practice circulating about how he doesn't want this to turn into a one-on-one thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, very interesting dichotomy of coaching styles.
Yeah, it is.
We don't know who's right and who's wrong yet.
Yeah.
But just very, very interesting. I also think the dynamic is different, because Charlotte's obviously a team that's Charlotte's a mess.
Kiddos and criminals.
Yeah. Or both.
Yeah.
So it's just it'll be interesting to see which one it plays out. But it's just like it was fun to see both of those happen at the same time.
Yeah. It seems like the guys are pretty energized about Adrian Griffin. For his part, he said they're going to be a lot more physical defensively. At one point, he used the Legion of Boom line from Seattle. They can't call all the fouls. I think the Bucks are going to be
that's such a Raptors thing.
Yeah, and that's
such a Raptors thing.
They've been very good defensively on that principle.
Yeah, maybe he's the reason they did it. I mean, he probably might be.
Yeah,
one of the lead assistants there.
Should we get into the Khris stuff?
Yeah, since we're talking about Adrian Griffin, do you want to read out? Or should I read out?
Do you want to reenact it?
Yeah, let's reenact it. Do you want to be Eric Name or
I'll be Eric Name. I'll be Eric Name.
Okay, wait, let me pull this up.
Yeah, pull it up. I was thinking we should do a dramatic reading of this.
Okay.
Was Khris able to go today?
Not live on the court, but he's been very productive with his individual workout, and he's been working his way towards getting back to more 5-on-5 live basketball.
So what he's done the few days has not been a surprise to you? Because he said he had no pain and feels great at media day.
No. We got time on our side. We're just being smart, and he's been working diligently to get back, so that's the plan.
What is ailing him? Does it have to do with the knee?
Just us being smart, just not rushing the process. He's doing great.
Is it fair to say the plan is October 26th, Khris will be ready to go?
Just day by day, just taking it one day at a time right now. But he's progressing beautifully. We're just being smart right now.
Does this feel like something you're going to have to manage all year? Like, is it a problem you're going to have to work through and manage all year?
What kind of problem?
The fact that he's not practicing right now and you're trying to ramp him up.
Who?
Khris! Is whatever he's dealing with a long-term concern that might keep popping up for Khris?
What's popping up for Khris?
I'm trying to figure out why he's not practicing.
He's not practicing live, but he is progressing. We're just taking it day by day, and we're just being smart with him, and we're not rushing the process.
Is it fair to say he is not cleared for 3-on-3, 5-on-5 yet, and that's what you're waiting for?
He's cleared to be where he is supposed to be right now, and he's right on time.
Jesus. That part's not in the transcription. So yeah, that is the buttoning is back after everyone said, we're going to have a new open policy from the coach. Not quite.
Obviously, credit to Eric Name for that.
Yeah, Eric Name tweeted the full exchange, technically with all reporters. So, yeah.
Just what?
Who? What's popping up with Khris? It's like the Ali just.
The who?
The who?
It's just incredible.
And that was also when he said Giannis and Dame did not participate. So yeah, so Khris has been working out. We've seen him in the facility. I saw a pic of him the Bucks shared yesterday. He was very sweaty, so he's certainly getting some amount of work in. That's on brand for Khris.
He's back.
Moist Jordan. He was like laughing with Brook there as well. And on media day, he said he feels great. It was a big relief to get the surgery, but he has not technically practiced. He has been getting work in on the side. I refuse to be that upset about this at this point in time. It would be nice to have more clarity. I'm going to be very invested to see if Khris plays any preseason games. If he plays 1, I'm good. If he plays 0, then it's a concern.
Yeah. I mean, again, who knows how much these guys are going to go in preseason at all.
Yeah.
But again, it's a new group, though. It's a new group, so who knows? They got to get their timing down.
Yeah.
And their rhythm established, because it's basically a whole new group. So it'll be interesting to see for sure. But if Khris is not ready to go by the beginning of the regular season, then I will be concerned.
Yeah. It's disappointing. I mean, I'm hopeful we hear from him again soon. I don't know if we'll be able to if he's not technically practicing.
We're not going to get it from Adrian Griffin. We know that.
Yeah, that's pretty clear.
And to be clear, I think once the regular season rolls around, the NBA is going to make sure that the Bucks give valid updates.
Yeah.
Because they kind of have to.
Yeah, that is the rule. Yeah, it would suck if Khris starts the year again.
It's going to be that same
convo.
Adam Bronze is going to have that conversation with Adrian Griffin. He's like, Adrian Griffin, come on, you got to give us an update. Update on who?
On what?
Khris, he's not practicing. What's going on with Khris? What do you mean? He's not playing. Yeah,
he's progressing.
He's where he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
He's Jedi mind tricking.
Adam's just like, you're getting a fine. I'm not going through what's his name, Kiki Vandeweghe anymore.
Yeah,
it's just like
directly.
You're getting a fine.
He just pulls out a pad of paper. Here,
yeah,
$25K.
Just give me $25K right now. just write me a check right now.
For what?
Here's your checkbook. I have your checkbook. I will write the check. You just have to sign.
Sign what?
Sign the check. You're fired.
You're fired. Jeff Van Gundy and Stan Van Gundy would then DDT Adam Bronze if he tried to fire. You're not going to disrespect a coach when the Van Gundys are around.
No, never. Even though only one of them's on a broadcast right now.
Doesn't matter. No. They're hovering.
Yeah, Jeff Van Gundy's just going to appear in someone's living room and say, hey, you can't do this.
And then he's going to talk about Rihanna.
Yeah, he is. Deservedly so.
Yeah. Random notes from here. Boss Man quote that I really liked on playing with force. Boss Man also, Jae Crowder, for anyone who doesn't know, we call him Boss Man. That's his Twitter handle.
He calls himself Boss Man.
Yeah, he calls himself Boss Man. He said camp's very competitive. We're all trying to play with force. He said he's trying to take ownership of getting the group going defensively, although he did say it's going to be everyone's just got to step up and defend more, which I thought that's the vet wing defender. That's a cool thing for him to do. This is the quote. I transcribed the full thing, even though I thought it was cool. Giannis obviously plays with force, but if we can piggyback and rise to his level of force on both ends of the court, we'll be where we want to be. It'll make teams feel us from the start of the game and hopefully dominate them. I think that's a good indication of how we want to play, and the culture we want to set on both ends of the court is just play with force and hit first and be physical. I think that sends a message to the opposing team on a nightly basis. I kind of think the Bucks are going to be nasty.
Yeah, they might be.
They're going to be big and strong, and yeah.
I mean, you have to embrace that mentality after you lose your best perimeter defender, and you kind of didn't replace him. So you have to, on the defensive end, you have to, the guys who will dig in and play defense, you have to play with that sort of edge because you have to make up for that much more. So right. I think it makes sense. Oh, yeah. I love it. I love them talking. And again, everyone's gonna say the right things in camp, right? We're saying all these things.
Did you happen to catch Raptors camp? Everyone doesn't always say the right things.
Yeah, that's fair. That's valid.
It's not a guarantee.
Yeah, that's valid.
Or Lakers camp. LeBron said some.
What did LeBron say?
Questioning. Oh, we'll cover it off air.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. I'll say then it's really good to hear these things being talked about, because it's Boss Man's going to be a guy who's going to be relied upon for his defense and his physicality. You have to embrace that. You have to say saying these things is very, very reassuring, because these are the things you're going to need to focus on. Like boss man of the past, it's like, yeah, can he do some things on offense too? They don't need that. They really don't. They really need him to just focus in on the defensive end.
Which he actually said something along those lines too. I don't know if I tweeted it or not, but no, I don't think I did. But he's basically like, offense, we're good. Like defense, we have to lock in.
Yeah. So it's good. It's good to see that me and boss man are aligned as always.
Quick Adrian, just because I'm scrolling through all the stuff I transcribed from the second round of interviews. I love Adrian Griffin on adjusting the offense for Dame. It's not rocket science. He said they're elite pick and roll players and the ball will be in their hands, but they're also unselfish, underrated passers. I just thought that was a good quote from Griffin. Payne really won me over with his first interview as a Buck. He is like in awe of still being a Buck. He said he's nervous about the opportunity. Like Payne is low key kind of adorable. He had a backpack on. He looked like a freshman on campus.
It doesn't help that he's kind of small.
Yeah. Payne on the Bucks atmosphere. Man, it's awesome. Everybody got one goal on their mind to win a championship, and that's cool to be around. No vendettas, no none of that. Everybody is one team trying to get to that one goal. It feels good to be around it. Tell me you were on the Phoenix Suns without telling me you were on the Phoenix Suns. What's it feel like to be here? It's good. There's no vendettas. The coach and the center don't hate each other. The point guard's not trying to get us in trouble for not tucking in our jerseys. It's been good.
It's been good. Did you see that DeAndre Ayton basically said he requested a trade this offseason?
Dominating.
He has that tattooed on his back.
The tattoo is horrific.
It's so bad. It's really bad. It's worse than Jason Tatum's chosen one.
Yes.
That's a bad tattoo.
Yes, it is.
Like if you just look it up, dominating tattoo, it looks like someone wrote that with barbed wire.
I can't believe Zach Lowe picked him as one of his 5 most intriguing players.
I think he's going to put up a lot of numbers.
What is intriguing? It's year 6 for DeAndre Ayton.
That's crazy.
I think we know at this point. He called himself dominating, and we know. The book is out. We've watched Andre Drummond play for years.
There's film of what you did.
We know. Payne said he was with his parents after a workout when he heard about the Dame trade. He thought actually it would make his chance of going to Milwaukee worse. He didn't know the roster spot situation. 10 minutes later, he gets a phone call. He had a spot with the Bucks. Everyone was so excited when they called and said I would be on the team. 10 minutes
after the Dame trade happened.
Yeah, they were just like, "Hey, Payne, come on over. We got a roster spot now."
Yeah. So it's intriguing to know that he was sort of in talks with the Bucks even before a roster.
He wanted to be a Buck either way, clearly.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see what happened there.
Yeah.
Because obviously prior to the Dame trade, the Bucks had 15 guaranteed contracts.
Correct. Did you see the picture of him where he looks like a coach? And I have no idea why.
No.
I will send it to you right now. The Bucks tweeted like 4 cool pics of practice. And in one of them, it's kind of a random pic of like Pat, MarJon, and Robin Lopez. And I had to zoom in. I was like, is that really him? I've never seen. He's wearing like the coach quarter zip and just black shorts and standing with his arms crossed on the sideline. I've never seen a player in a quarter zip before, whether they're active or not. Like, I was like, why is he cosplaying as a coach? I get if he can't practice day one because he just got there or whatever. Why? And I think he did actually practice. I have so many questions. Is he going to be a coach? Yeah. Is he getting ready?
I think Payne would be a good coach.
I have no idea.
I think he'd be a good, like, he's like the type of player that would transition well into being a coach.
That's true. Robin Lopez's expression, we had a fun game in the Discord in this photo of what is he looking at? He looks shook. I said Brook. Other people said the mascot or Bango, which is very funny.
It'd be fun if Bango just showed up at practice.
I probably does sometimes.
Why?
It's fun.
I guess.
It's nice. Get everyone pumped up.
Just chastise Robin.
I think it's the other way around based on what I've seen from Robin in post-mascot interactions.
Yeah, but he does look like a coach in this photo.
I was just saw it. I was like, why is he like that? Very strange. Bobby Portis said he's never felt better physically after FIBA. Good. Said it was good for him, which was nice. And
good.
His goal for the year is to be 6th man of the year. He's really embracing being that bench spark plug presence.
Called out some people for not voting for him.
Yeah. He also said he would start on some teams in the league, and we're not going to go through and figure out what those teams would be. We're going to take that at face value.
It's not wrong.
Indiana?
I think he'd start on Yeah, he'd start in India.
I think
if we're talking about
Indiana's
good
like
teams,
the best one, probably. Maybe.
I think he could start. Maybe he could start in Miami.
Would he start on the Lakers?
No.
Is Bobby worse than Rui?
I don't think he would start on the Lakers.
Lakers fans are going crazy that I even asked, but I think he's better than he would.
I think he could start on the Heat.
Oh, yeah, the Heat have like 3 players. That's a good call.
Yeah. If we're talking good teams, maybe the Knicks? No, not the Knicks.
No, you can't start over Randall.
No, I'm not saying over Randall. I'm saying next to Randall.
Randall, Bobby, Mitch Rob would be insane. I would actually watch their games.
Atlanta?
Yeah, I guess John Collins is gone now. Yeah, so you're right. It's a fair statement. And we're not even going into like,
like, obviously on the bad teams, he'd be a great starter.
Yeah.
Then again, I did mention Atlanta. So.
Portland.
Not high on. Yeah. Oh my God, he'd average 40 for Portland.
Let's not get carried away. I love Bobby too. Let's not lose our credibility over where Bobby could play, because he's not. He's here, and he's focused on being 6th man of the year.
He's
he wants
here and
it.
He's perfect.
He is. I kind of think the Bucks are going to win 60 this year.
I kind of think the Bucks are going to win 70. No, let's not get carried away.
Yeah.
60. I think 60 is good. I think 60 is a good benchmark. I mean, like, they are set up for massive, massive success in the regular season. I mean, I could see them faltering a little early as they sort of get their rhythms down, but once they start to click, yeah, I think it's over.
I just think it's not going to be hard to be like, oh yeah, it's Dame and Giannis in actions, and everything's really like. I'm sure there will be some adjustment. I don't think it's like, oh, we lost 5 games of the first 10 because we couldn't figure out how to have Giannis set a screen for Dame.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think they win the in-season tournament. Maybe.
Yes.
Yes.
Triple crown. Triple crown.
No.
Title, mid-season tournament, most regular season wins.
Oh, okay. You do get a trophy for that.
Oh yeah.
It's used to be the MVP trophy. What's it called? Maurice Podoloff trophy?
Oh my God. Maybe they should.
That's what the MVP trophy was called. Now it's the Michael Jordan MVP.
Oh, which is good. No disrespect to Maurice Podoloff, but
am I remembering that right?
I don't know.
Let's see. Yep, I am.
They never called it that. It's so funny. The Larry O.B. is like iconic, and that's the MVP trophy.
Yeah, you just get the MVP.
Yeah.
Shout out Maurice Podoloff.
Maurice P. Mo P.
Mo P. Nah, I think Morris Peterson's Mo.
Oh yeah.
Morris Peterson's Mo Pete. So that's
true.
We're just bringing out the random names.
Guys. Do you have anything else from media day or practice that stood out?
Not really. I mean, it's just if Khris is the only guy like not practicing, whatever's happening with Khris.
Yeah.
I
just give me one report of Khris practicing this week, and all is good. All is right.
All is good. It'll be interesting to see who plays preseason game 1.
Yeah, very interesting for us.
Yeah, very interesting for us. Selfishly thinking about that one, but I think my biggest takeaway is that everyone seems to be on the same page.
Yeah, like the vibes are so good.
When you come back, when you get eliminated in embarrassing fashion, like what happened to them last season, there's a chance the team comes back and they're a bit rattled. There's a chance. And it's like, yeah, that'll stick with the team. But no, everyone seems to be on the same page. Everyone seems to be locked in. Everyone seems to be like working towards the same goal and are very, very, very determined to do so. And everyone seems in lockstep with each other. No one's contradicting the other one except for Adrian Griffin contradicting himself. But
God, I hate injuries.
It's so bad. Hopefully we don't, knock on wood, hopefully we don't have to deal with that a lot this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, the vibes are tremendous.
I was thinking the healthiest Bucks playoff run is like what, when they won. I mean, either way, it's when Giannis only missed like half of a series. Isn't that wild? That's the healthiest they've been in the last 3 playoff runs, is when Giannis only missed half of a full. Their best player missed half of a series, and that's a pretty healthy playoff run. Just give us one. Actually, give us 4 in a row. I'll be greedy. Give us 4 healthy playoff runs.
I just realized Giannis, Drew, Khris just still never lost a playoff series when healthy.
There we go. We can 08 Celtics it. I don't want to do that though.
Over,
two
for now.
Two quick hits. True. 2 quick hits. One, the nerd take is Damian Lillard has a long contract. He's going to be negative value in 4 years. I have totally flipped to we get Dame for 4 years. That's awesome. That's pretty sick. Somebody was already asking in the Discord, are we at risk of losing Dame? Nope. 3 seasons and a big player option, baby.
Oh yeah. That he's likely going to opt into.
You never know.
You never know.
Modern science.
He could be playing at an MVP level. Who knows? Is Dame going to win MVP this year? No.
I don't think either of them will. But maybe if they're really winning 60 plus, maybe.
If they win 70.
Yeah, I mean, that's again, Rohan. You know what? I can't temper you because they got Dame. Anything is possible.
You always told me to temper expectations when talking about Dame.
I know.
Look at where we are now.
Indeed. My last thing. Report out of Blazers camp. The non-scoot rookies. Kamara is looking pretty good. And I am still flabbergasted. The Suns had to throw him into Portland, and the Bucks kept MarJon, Ajax, Chris Livingston, all their Portland's 2024 pick, their 2027 pick. Like, the young guy thrown in had to be Kamara from the Suns. I still am just like, thank God, because certainly MarJon is needed right now. But, I mean, that's still wild to me. The team who gave up Ayton to get Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little also had to give up the prospect in the deal.
Grayson Allen / Victor Oladipo.
Yeah, either or. Which is still just like, guy's not going to play any games. Like, the Suns are so obsessed, singularly obsessed with, oh my God.
Ayton wanted out of there, I guess.
Well, yeah, but this is, the Bucks are all in too, not quite mortgaged as hard as the Suns, but I'm very glad the Bucks don't have an owner who's just like single-handedly forcing these deals, because I don't think the Suns are getting the best piece of every basketball move.
No, obviously, but you do have some room to play with after you make that heist of a Bradley Beal trade.
Yeah.
It kind of makes up for it. And
now they're mortgaging their swaps to get more stuff. They're going to be in everyone talks about the Bucks. The Suns are going to be in a very interesting position in like 2 years.
Very, very, very interesting.
But
is Booker going to be the next guy that asks out? It's Embiid, but
yeah.
Also, the Suns
are going to be Pritchard. Really good. He's now the third point guard on the Celtics again. Fast PP's got to be heated.
Fast PP he's just constantly. Same with like Korkmaz, right? He was always requesting a trade.
Yeah, Korkmaz. Is he out of the league? Or is he still on the Sixers?
So. I swear he's somewhere.
Or did he sign with a different team? Furk?
Nope, he's still on the Sixers.
I would remember if Furkan Korkmaz signed somewhere, Rohan.
That's fair. I was thinking Niang. That's who I was thinking.
Oh, Cavs. Yeah. I really like the Cavs team.
Yeah, Cavs are going to be good.
I'm seeing top 3 record when I look at them. In the East.
Looking at their offseason, they're going to be quite decent.
Quite decent. Hot take from Rohan Katti.
Yeah, so the Cavs are going to be. I think it's just so unfortunate that the Bucks and Celtics loaded up.
Yeah,
because then it just leaves the Cavs and like, oh, what do we do next?
Yeah, like, can we get to the conference finals if they match up in the same bracket? That's like the upside for the season. The Ringer Power Rankings round 1 put them 14th in the NBA.
It's kind of low.
That's very low.
Kind of low.
Everyone's so high on the Pelicans. I don't know how we do this every year. If the Pelicans stay healthy,
I'm telling you.
If the Pelicans stay healthy, they're a contender. 1, I think that's a stretch. 2, okay. If MarJon is prime Ray Allen, the Bucks will win 70. I can throw around ifs too.
Yeah. One's more likely than the other, though.
MarJon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's the Pelicans being healthy. I already staked my claim on that in our
welcome to also someday Someday Pacific and Central, maybe.
One day, maybe.
Our preview.
We'll see. We kind of got sidetracked by Damian Lillard.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think the listeners, please vote. Would you rather hear more about Dame on the Bucks or us trying to talk about what we think about the Kings this year? Which, fine, sure.
Yeah, let us know for sure. Do we have anything else we need to touch on? I guess James Harden.
Oh yeah, it's very boring. He showed up. He's just there.
Yeah, he's not in a fat suit.
I hope he's lulling them into a false sense of security.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, we think we're all right. We think we're all right. And then boom, there comes the fat suit. Boom, there comes the iPad at practice. Boom, there comes. He's just showing up, just not playing games.
Ben Simmons made 10 straight free throws.
Oh my God, league's cooked.
League's cooked. NBL.
League is cooked. Did you say NBL?
Yeah.
Oh.
Then somebody corrected me. He'll never show up for Australia, so it'd actually probably be the Chinese league or something.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Welcome to Guangdong, Ben Simmons. Get ready to learn Chinese, but
maybe he'll have a good year. I don't even want to be negative, but I would not.
You won't be negative when it comes to Ben Simmons, but you'll be negative when it comes to the Pelicans?
I just feel like I've heard too much about the Pelicans. If we start hearing about Ben Simmons a bunch, I'll be negative about him too.
Ben Simmons is trying to make sure you hear about Ben Simmons.
I know. Yeah, so maybe I can be more negative about him.
Yeah. We'll see. The Brooklyn's going to be probably a tire fire this year, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I like their summer. Well, regardless.
The East is just really good.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe they fight for a play-in?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Although I saw Malika Andrews staked out my Pacers 6 seed position.
Really?
Yeah. There's many of us.
Even with Buddy Hield potentially on the way out?
Yeah, doesn't help. Well, I think it was like who could surprise. So I don't know if it was as bold of a take. Somebody said Orlando.
Orlando? My team's still Detroit. I think year 3 Cade.
I saw they're thinking about a Wiseman Duran lineup, and I said I've seen what I needed to see.
No, I think it was Wiseman and I forget who.
Bagley.
Bagley are competing. They're competing for the backup.
No, I saw that too, but at a different point, Monty said something about a two center lineup. And it's just like, come on, man.
I mean, you kind of have to when all of your players are centers.
Just send one of them home.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't know, man. I think I'm never going to quit Cade in the Pistons.
Tough division for that team.
Yeah.
Orlando's got Miami, who's not as good. Washington, Charlotte, right? Several times a year.
And Atlanta.
Yeah. The Atlantic and Central. I mean, the Central and Atlantic are fairly loaded. The Southeast, someone's going to sneak into a 9th seed pretty easily just from playing all those other teams.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I still think, I don't know, I think Detroit's going to surprise a lot of people. Cade MIP incoming.
Not MarJon?
Unfortunately not. It'd be really fun if MarJon won it, but I think Cade's more likely.
Yeah, I'm not.
You're just not
disagree.
in on Cade.
No, I mean I'm fine with Cade. I don't think I've said this. I don't think he's in a good position.
That's fair. Cade to the Bucks. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, he'd be in a better position there. He'd be a good 5th starter. That'll work.
Oh my God, that's my new.
It would actually be kind of clunky.
I don't know if it would be because it's like you have a lot of ball handling on the court. Then.
But does he defend at that level?
He can. He's a big dude.
Well,
he's
that's
like 6'8".
different. So is Khris.
Yeah, but
I know Khris is old. I know.
He's a 6'8" athlete who you'll be starting at the 2.
I'm going to leave us with one thing here. Making the executive decision. It's almost outro time.
I could talk about Cade forever if you want to.
No. I think a guy who would be the perfect Bucks 5th starter is a guy Damian Lillard is very close with on that Brooklyn Nets team. And just going to leave it at there. And I don't think anything's happening anytime soon, to be clear. But Dame is a guy who has some of these relationships around the league. And if Brooklyn is indeed floundering at a certain point in the next couple of years, I think there would be a lot of interest on McHale's side and the Bucks side to pair him with Dame.
I thought you were talking about Cam Thomas.
I was not. I certainly was not.
But you're talking about Dennis Smith Jr.
No.
Everyone thinks Dorian Finney-Smith is going to be a...
Everyone's so excited about DFS.
It's like, why?
I think he's fine.
I think he's all right.
I mean...
Is he better than Jae Crowder?
Oh, I hope so for his sake. I like Jay, but...
I don't know.
A lot of people are excited about a Pat for Dorian Finney-Smith trade. I'm not really moved by it. If Pat looks worse to start the year, but I don't think he will. Noah, he's using the Noah. That's another thing.
Yeah, he's using the Noah.
Pat's using the Noah. So
good, finally.
I think it's
for him to use it all year last year.
He's got a good case to be that. I think it's got to be him or MarJon at this point.
Yeah, I think it's him, MarJon, or Boss Man.
If Pat comes out here stroking 44%,
that'd be a sight to see.
Yeah, you still think Boss Man?
I still think Boss Man's in the running. I think he's the third best option.
Yeah, I think that speaks more to the options then. Sorry, Malik Beasley.
No, it can't be Malik Beasley.
No, I said sorry, Malik Beasley.
No, I'm saying he's not in the running because it just can't happen.
Yeah.
It will not. Watch him be the opening day starter.
That would be so funny.
But
the Bucks just score 150 points. That would be the blueprint if it's Malik Beasley.
And then give up 160 or something.
No. They give up 140.
Yeah, that's fair.
Adrian Griffin said the goal of the game is to score more points. Dame helps with that.
It is true.
It is indeed true.
Okay, let's wrap this up here. Somehow we've done like an hour 20 on Media Day.
Just quotes. Imagine when they play games.
Conversations.
Yeah, that was a fun part.
It was really fun. But yeah, thank you for listening to this episode of the Gyro Step here on Blue Wire and GSPN. Make sure you check out gspn.info for all our other podcasts here on the network. If you want a cathartic Brewers podcast, check out Cruising for a Bruising. I almost said Bruising for a Cruising.
I've done that. At least you didn't call it Talk of the Tundra. So you can check out Monday Night Football.
Yeah, Monday Night Football. The Packers versus the Raiders. Can we just keep Devontae?
I'm all about that.
Can we just is it a home game or an away game?
I don't know.
If it's an away game, just sneak him onto the plane. If it's a home game, just don't let him onto the Raiders team plane.
Yeah. Our Brewers take did not age well because we didn't know how many games were in the series.
Yeah.
And because the Brewers did not win any, much less 4.
Yeah. They won a grand total of 0 games. They got swept at home. Well, that bodes really well for Arizona, though, because I think I read somewhere that every time the Brewers have been eliminated in the postseason, that team has either won the World Series or gone to the World Series.
Yeah.
So that streak's probably being broken this year.
It would be awesome if it wasn't, to be honest. If either the Braves or Dodgers I'd probably both get smacked by the Snakes. That would be funny enough.
It would be both. It would be both because they're playing the Dodgers in the DS.
Or Phillies. Phillies or Braves.
Yeah, Phillies or Braves in the NLCS.
Now we know baseball. See?
Yeah. And NLDS is a 5-team series?
Now we're going bridge too far to ask us to know that. Let's wrap it up.
Thank you. Yeah, make sure you listen to Cruising for a Bruising for actual baseball people. But yeah, check out gspn.info for all our links. Pod random, and we will talk to you next time.